Coming up. Like and subscribe.
So the first motion I want to move is, these are both on notice already. The committee report to the House that it calls on the Prime Minister to convene a carbon tax emergency meeting with all of Canada's 14 First Ministers, and that this meeting addresses, 1, the ongoing carbon tax crisis and the financial burden it places on Canadians. Number 2, the Prime Minister's recent 23% carbon tax increase. Number 3, plans for provinces to opt out of the federal carbon tax to pursue other ideas to lower emissions, given that under the government's current environmental plan, Canada now ranks 62 out of 67 countries on the Climate Change Performance Index. That this meeting be publicly televised and held within 5 weeks of this motion being adopted. Just a little bit of background on this. The Prime Minister recently said that he met with the premiers in 2016. A lot has changed since 2016. His poll numbers have tanked. He gave a carve-out to Atlantic Canada and he left out the rest of Canada. He was proven false on some of his claims about the carbon tax scam by the parliamentary budgeting officer, which he appointed, such as more Canadian families are worse off with this, paying into this carbon tax than what they get in these so-called rebates. For example, in Alberta, a family on average will pay $2,900, and according to the PBO, they will only get back $2,000 in these so-called phony rebates. And same thing with Ontario. An average family will pay $1,600 and they will only get $1,000 back, leaving families worse off. And what else is worse off is the environment. Because first of all, by admission of the government's own environmental department, they don't even track if the emissions go down with this carbon tax scam. And it's probably because they know it's just like the Prime Minister and not worth the cost. That's why they're not tracking it. Emissions have not gone down either. There's that point, and since 2016, 70% of Canadians and premiers, including a Liberal Premier, Andrew Furey, have asked this Prime Minister to spike the hike, just like our common sense Conservative leader has been saying all along, and call for a carbon tax election. Last I'll say is that he needs to stop hiding, meet with these premiers like they've been asking for, so that they can tell him that we need to scrap this carbon tax scam and get some real policies that a common sense Conservative government will bring forward. Thank you.
I would suggest perhaps we go to a vote, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, MP Zerowitz. I don't see any other hands, so Clerk, if you can call the vote.
Mr. Baker.
Opposed.
Mr. Baptiste.
Opposed.
Mr. Weiler.
Against.
Ms. Zerowitz.
Opposed.
Ms. Thompson.
Opposed.
Mr. Chambers.
Oui.
Mr. Hallan.
In favor.
Mr. Lawrence.
Yes.
Mr. Morantz.
Yes.
Monsieur Sainte-Marie.
Contre.
Mr. Davies.
Oui.
Yes pour 5-5, nays contre 6-6.
Okay, it's defeated.